What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are traditional fans with opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. South Park, Season 28, Episode 3. So in this one, so Others wants to get revenge on Red for using him for Labubu devil summoning thing, and so basically he makes a Sora 2 AI video of Red trying to sell fart to basically so he's trying to sell farts, and then Santa Claus pisses on Red. Apparently it's an AI video, deepfake thing using yeah, and basically Kyle and Stan say that players shouldn't be doing that it will backfire them. Now Kenny's laughing about it, and Red sees it. So instead of reporting it to the school counselor like she should have done, she basically hijacks a school assembly and shows an AI video of Butters screwing Totoro from My Neighbor Totoro. Then the cops get involved. Blair says nothing to the cops, and then there's a AI video of Kenny being raped by Popeye the Sailor Man, and Kenny and Butters don't tell the cops anything, and when Kyle tries to negotiate a truce between you know Butters and Red. Red then makes a video of Kyle basically where Droopy Dog oops in Kyle's mouth. And basically the cops the cops are like they're trying to figure out how to tell it's they don't understand it's AI and they're concerned. So then basically Butters' next idea to get revenge on Rez. They have AI video of Bluey doing stuff to her. Then while this is and then basically yeah, it, so then Butters just admits to everything with that it's all his fault. Somehow he does not get grounded. Somehow that doesn't happen. Now, while this is going on, Trump has learned about JD Vance's role in getting rid of the baby. And Vance says he's doing it to help Trump. Trump says he doesn't want a baby, but everyone cares about it, so he can't do anything. So then they relax in the hot tub. You know, Vance, basically sweet talks Trump. And Trump and Vance in the episode end up having sex. And now, so when Cartman's mother tells the cops about Cartman being missing, that there's some eight, that she thinks that some videos, she doesn't know what happened. But then they trace some AI IP source to like Peter Thiel's like motel room, find Cartman, find all the other, found that it's all a bunch of deep fake. All the videos, Cartman videos were all deep fake. So Cartman is returned to his mother. Peter Thiel's arrested, and then so the cops find the footage that Thiel had in the Lincoln room of Trump and Vance having sex. That when Fox News gets a hold of it, Trump calls in and says that it's all deep fake. Everyone's like, oh, okay. So everyone believes it's deep fake, which yeah, that's something which in reality, yes, deep fake videos of stuff like that is probably gonna happen in the future. It sucks in real life that's the thing we have to worry about. But hey, I don't think it's exactly how we thought we would get to Terminator, but yeah. But yeah, so and it's just a very timely episode with Disney announcing their AI initiative with user generated content. You know, who knows exactly how that's gonna work. But yeah, here's what I say. I thought this was a funny episode. I think the Trump stuff, that, in my opinion, they should leave a lot of that out. These are funny jokes. Like the jokes are funny. Like it is funny. So overall, I actually do really like this episode, but they need to actually go back to making fun of both sides. They need to just make fun of everyone. Like when you just make fun of one side, it comes off a certain way. Now, at least South Park does it in a funny manner. Like, but you need to go back to make fun of both sides. Like, just make fun of both sides. There's plenty of material from both sides to make fun of. Plenty. Like, there's multiple seasons worth of South Park content just from the past year. Heck, the year of 2024 probably had so much South Park content that could exist within 2024. I mean, like from both sides, there's plenty of South Park content that can be done out of it. So I think Parker and Stone should make fun of both sides. But overall, as far as episode is concerned, I like this episode. That was good. Looking forward to the next one. Beavis and Butthead, season 11, episode 10. So in this episode, so in the segment, so you have old Beavis and Butthead. They're trying to work out, and well, you know, it's allowed, and basically, they're someone whoever lives below them to ask them to be quiet. He says he works from home, so he wants them to be quiet so he can pay attention. They're like, wait, you work from home, so you live at work? Guy's like, basically, yeah. So then Beavis and Butthead get the idea to live at Burger World and get their old jobs back. So they do that. They start living there, covering shifts. Well, covering's a bit of a stretch. They don't do anything. Then when they go out to buy some food across the street, they mention that they left the door unlocked because there was some chick they thought was bringing beer. But then so basically all the money gets robbed, and yeah. And then so one of the segments, like the video segments, covers there's like a whole discussion they have about writing a kids book, but it's like okay, they say kids book. It wouldn't be a kids book in real life. It would not be a kids book in real life. Basically, some of the like it's so funny, and there's like a middle segment. It's just them reading the book, like the kids book. It's actually really funny. Like I was busting out, like it's called Lumass the Dumb. Well, you could probably figure out how it ends, and like it's just so funny. And then after that, you had so so basically, and then you have the young Beavis and Butthead. So later, so some woman's trying to find her Airbnb. I don't know. I guess she doesn't understand the concept of an address. So she asks Beavis and Butthead for directions. They think B&B refers to Beavis and Butthead. So they said, "Oh yeah, here." So she stays in there one night, run down the house for a night. She and her boyfriend, husband, whatever. Now, Beavis and Butthead let her in because they think they're gonna score with her, but and they basically take laundry to a laundromat. They wash it, they just don't dry it. Well, then they pull out someone else's laundry, because they're too stupid to wait. But yeah, so they do that. Then they see that basically that the guy scores with the chick. Basically, they're basically kicked out of the house for the night. And yeah, so I thought this was a funny episode. Like, dude, the whole Lamass shorts was so funny. Like, holy crap! I was like, I did not expect that. Yeah, so yeah, I thought this was a really good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Who killed the Montreal Expos? So this is a documentary on Netflix that I recently learned existed. You know, basically it's spoken in both French and English because Montreal's in Quebec. And so this goes into like some of the history of the Expos. Specifically during like the 90s. You had in the 80s they started getting some success. They were sold. And then the ownership group had all its issues. Of course, you had '94, like their best year, where if the strike had not canceled the World Series, the Expos probably would have won the World Series. And how it affected '95, where they traded away a bunch of their players to help cover up the cost for the strikes, and then you know that led to the Expos getting last place in the league. Of course, then the Atlanta Braves won the World Series in '95. you know, Go Braves. I have no complaints about the Braves winning the World Series. I mean, yeah, they had all the issues. Basically you had Loria and Sampson came in. They were sold shares of the team to like basically like help deal with and basically there was a lot of money problems with the Expos. Like a lot of money. Part of it's due to the fact it's in Montreal. There were some issues with you know, basically the stand being old, the basically like investor money, it was they couldn't necessarily get money to fund the new stadium in Montreal, so that's basically what led to them moving to Washington, at least part of it. Like they were losing so much money every year to where the league had to take over it. Then this movie doesn't necessarily say who's directly to blame because you have the owners, you have you know the guy who ran the team before, have Claude Brochu who was like basically there was a group of others, but he was like the head honcho. Some of the stuff with him, he couldn't finish his stadium. Then all his basically when he was kicked out, it was replaced with Jeffrey Loria, who was there for 2 years and then left to buy the Marlins, where he won the World Series as an owner, and then the league took over. And basically, you see interviews. You have some of the major players like Pedro Martinez, you know Vladimir Guerrero, um, the the basically a lot of the major players. Like, dude, that the '94 team could be a really good team if they didn't if the strike didn't happen, they would have won the World Series. Like, I think a lot of people agree they would have won the World Series. Like, they would have done very well. I mean, with a lot of players, with Larry Walker there. Marquise Grissom, who went to the Braves and won the World Series after he got traded. Moises Alou. And of course, manager Felipe Alou. So yeah, this. Then you have, so basically there's like for different perspectives. You had fans, you had former players, you had, David Sampson, who was like, I think it was like the stepson of Jeffrey Loria, as well as like basically second command. Basically, they came in, tried to negotiate higher, better deals for the team, like TV rights and all that. Basically, the way like contracts were working in the U.S. Basically, like the teams got better deals, whatever. So basically, they were trying to get better deals for the Expos, and like there was a lot of problems already. I mean, basically, like where how a lot of people hate Samson, but I mean, there was a lot of problems anyway, and like so this this documentary doesn't pick a side as to who's more at fault, but it just presents the facts and lets the viewer come to conclusions, which I like that. I thought this was a really good documentary. I thought it did very well presenting the information and about why the Expos like is such a complicated story as to what the frick happened to them, and like of course a lot of people wanted to come back. Like if MLB does expand, Montreal will be discussed. Like there will be discussions of a new Montreal Expos, like what happened to Cleveland Browns. When the original Browns moved to Baltimore to become the Baltimore Ravens, we later had another Cleveland Browns franchise. Like that started a few years later. So it is, of course, the old Expos became the Washington Nationals. So it could be possible for a new Expos franchise to happen. Who knows? That'd be nice. But yeah, as far as documentary goes, I thought it was really good. So I recommend watching it. And that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.